Hello, beautiful people. Today, we are diving into 5 rookies that I am obnoxiously high on in my rankings. Okay. And I don't even know if I'm obnoxiously high on them or the market is obnoxiously low on them. Either way, I take it as disrespect. So, we're going to talk about 5 of them. All right. And this is relative to ECR or expert consensus rankings. So, they're looking at all the people in the industry that do their rookie rankings and comparing them to mine. All right. So everybody that I have 5, 6, 7, 8 spots higher than other rookies, which is a huge gap when it comes to rookie rankings because most people only do up to like 24, 36 prospects at this point. But I'm diving deep. Okay. So today we're looking at 5 guys that, again, I don't know if I'm obnoxiously high on or I'm in love with all of these players, but I'm way higher on in my rookie rankings. All right. So we're going to dive into 5 of them, a couple running backs, a couple wide receivers. We'll go through some numbers. We'll break down a little bit of film because I know y'all loved that last video I did when I was going through the running back film like Trey Benson and those types of dudes, pointing out some of the concerns I have. That video I will link down below if you want to yap about my rookie running back rankings. But for this video, y'all know what we have to do. We got to tuck them. I come pre-tucked because I know better than that. Let us eat. The first man's up on this list is Adonai Mitchell, the correct Texas wide receiver to draft in this rookie class. One, the name Adonai, that's like a god name, right? Like I feel like you're blessed by the gods if your name is Adonai, all right? Even though your mom probably chose a name, not a god. But Adonai Mitchell, I have ranked as my 9th overall player in Superflex. So he's my 109 right now. ECR has him 6 spots lower than me. So we're talking about the 203, the 204 right now. And I'd imagine that has to catch up eventually. But at this point, we're a couple weeks out of the combine. And I don't know what else to do other than continue the Adonai propaganda. He was a dude who just absolutely screamed on film to me, and then he went to the combine and blew the combine away. He is 6'2", he's 205. He ran a 4.34 40-yard dash. He is 21 years old. So you're talking about young, fast, explosive, big. Route running is mwah, okay? Adonai Mitchell, I understand a lot of the analytics guys are not going to like him because of his breakout age and because of the numbers that he didn't put up, but I'll tell you what he did put up. Adonai put up some of the juiciest clips on film that have me questioning whether or not any cornerback in the NFL is going to be able to cover this guy, especially by the red zone. So let's play a clip. Oh, that's him right there with a nice little double move on Kool-Aid. Burns right by him, doesn't get the ball, but it is what it is. All right, here's a goal line play. Now, a lot of people talk about Xavier Worthy being this explosive, big player, ran a fucking 3-2-1. I know he ran 4-2-1 enough. But Adonai Mitchell was the dude in the red zone because he is so good at separating off the line of scrimmage. I'm going to have to move myself, huh? Yeah, let me move myself up here. We got Adonai down here. And yes, that is Kool-Aid. That is Mr. Kool-Aid McKinstry, a.k.a. a first-round cornerback. One was projected to be a top 10 pick going into this year, but struggled a little bit. That's what's going to happen when you play against Mr. Adonai Mitchell, all right? What a matchup. Adonai versus Kool-Aid. There's not a cooler matchup in the history of the NFL in terms of just like first name. So here's Adonai on the goal line. This is where you get tight coverage, okay? Because you have about 5 yards ahead of you. Skirt. Let's watch that back. Hezzy outside. Kool-Aid has a step outside and then boom, breaks in. This is Stephon Diggs, OBJ type beat. Like the amount of separation that he is able to pull off within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage this is something we see all over his film. Versus Oregon, Adonai, same spot, bottom of the field. We'll watch it in real time first. It's just he doesn't get the ball there, but that's a QB problem, not an Adonai problem. Same fucking move. It's an uncoverable move on the goal line. That first step to the left, making it seem like he's going outside. The cornerback, he's in no man's land there. Look how much separation. There's like 4 yards of separation on the goal line. If Quinn Ewers wasn't just straight fucking skewered, if he wasn't put on his spit and fucking roasted by every defense that he played against this year, Adonai would probably have another 17 touchdowns. Just look how much separation he has. Just look how beautiful that goal line route is. Skirt. Next victim, TCU. Adonai down here. So this time he takes the opposite approach. Now I get it, it's a run play, but the cornerback's clearly just watching him. If this was a pass play, Adonai, another fucking 4 yards of separation. This time, instead of faking outside and breaking in, he goes the other way. This is what happens. A lot of cornerbacks cheat, right? Like in the last play you saw, the cornerback cheated outside because there was another wide receiver. There was like a slot wide receiver here, so he figures he's probably not in breaking. He needs to create some space, some separation, so he's probably going outside. Now, when there's not another wide receiver, there's not another tight end, there's not another slot guy here, he probably assumes he's breaking in, so he cheats that way, and Adonai sells the fuck out of it. Skirt. We out. Another goal line play. Oh, red zone, I should say. At the 13-yard line, it's 101 man coverage, no safety help. And I said, give me this baby food. Inside, has separation. Says, I'm going to take it back outside and still have 6 more yards of separation. Just watch this route. It's a thing of pure fucking beauty. Again, if Quinn Ewers was in straight cheeks, that's another touchdown. A couple plays later, we got Adonai down here by himself. The first couple steps and the first jab step are just so quick. Skirt. If a D-back cheats at all, one direction or another, Mitchell puts him on fucking ice skates. This play, a few plays later, we are on the, 10-yard line, 8-yard line or so. Now, he gets a lot of cushion, so he can't really use his quick feet to get separation right away. Instead, he's got to use his body control. So he fakes as if he's going in, jab step in, or jab step out, fake in again, and then back out. Now, Ewers actually throws a great ball here. Throws it in here where only the defender, where the defender can't get it. So Adonai uses his body control to kind of spin around, go the other way, find it, bring it in. Just the amount of separation this man can create within short space is insane. We'll do like 2 more quick plays here. So he's on the outside here. It's a little messy on the inside. So he's got to, kind of layer his moves where he's not just working one man, but has to see the secondary layer as well. So as always, kind of breaks that first move straight inside where the CB's already a step behind him, and then he breaks in. Where you see that this is what good receivers do. You see he breaks in, but he doesn't necessarily cheat on his route. Like right now, if you're watching this, you don't actually know which direction he's going. He might be running a fade up this way. He might just run a comeback here because he doesn't cheat. So as you can see, that's a huge step right there. Right as he gets like the 51, watch this. Watch him when he gets here. He starts to lean this way and then breaks off his in-breaking route, which is huge for the program, right? Here, boom. That's what creates that 3 yards of separation right there. Is the ability to outside, inside. Boom. You see that? Wide open again, but just Quinn Ewers actually getting skewered once again. But that is what makes a technician. All right, last play for Adonai. I swear I'll stop talking about him soon. He's up here, top of the screen. All right, let me get that circle right quick. Boom. Like, are you shitting me? Skirt. You see his first step. His first step is pushing the cornerback inside. See? He takes that jab where it looks like he's going inside for like a screen or something like that. So the cornerback naturally shifts that way and almost shifts his entire body to force off the slant, which is fine because he's actually going outside with the jab step. Create separation there. You're a half step behind, you're cooked, especially with this kind of body control. Perfect timing, great hands. Adonai Mitchell does not drop passes. He dropped, I think, 1 pass last year. Man's literally had a 96.2% on-target catch rate, a drop rate of 1.8%. with an ADOT of 16 yards, okay? That's important. because it's easy to catch everything when you're getting screens and you're sitting around the line of scrimmage and everything comes easy to you and you're wide open. When your ADOT is 16 yards down the field and your on-target catch rate is 96.2%, that means your hands are fucking phenomenal, okay? He had 5 screen catches all of last year. 14% of his targets were screen targets, which is a really, really, really low-ranked number in this class. And that's a good thing in my eyes. Rookie number 2, and I'll try to get through these a little bit quicker so that this is not an hour-long video, but it's Mr. Braelon Allen out of Wisconsin, the running back who is 20 years old right now. So young. Just turned 20 years old. He's 6'2", 238. He did not run at the combine, unfortunately, but I pegged him as like a mid-4.5s guy. He's not going to have crazy breakaway speed, but he is so much shiftier and smarter and understands how to use his leverage as a runner than people are giving him credit for. Like, you've heard the A.J. Dillon comps. You've heard all these lazy-ass comps. He reminds me more of like a Ramondre Stevenson type or a Joe Mixon or a Deonta Foreman than he does an A.J. Dillon, who literally can't do anything besides run straight and hope that his fat lower body will plow guys over. All right, we'll jump into a play and watch this sheesh kind of play out real time. Now, he is the running back here in the backfield. All right, from up top, looks like a nice run, whatever. Let's jump into the all 22 of this. Now, he gets his handoff, right? I think it would be really easy for him to kind of take this and blast up the hole here, because he probably already sees that this defensive tackle kind of put pressure into the backfield already, pushing his O-lineman back. And you could see his head starting to shift off that way. So he's got the defensive tackle's got leverage that way. So he could either do one of two things, right? Try to blast through this hole or try to, just kind of take it right up here. As a bigger back, you're 240 pounds. I feel like a lot of people's first step might be to, hey, let me put my head down and just fucking rumble to 3 or 4 yards right up the middle here. But instead, what he does is he's patient. He sees that the D tackle's got leverage there. You could see his body weight starts to shift where he's going to, boom, bounce it outside because this O-line's blocking him into here. Boom, nice quick cut. And immediately he's reading the second, right? His momentum started taking him this way. Immediately he's reading this safety getting pushed by the O-lineman. Cuts backwards this way to find this massive hole. Now, the impressive part about this is like a lot of the bigger backs, again, would use their body first. But his lateral agility and his shiftiness and his ability to get side to side at his size is what makes it so impressive. Now, obviously, this hole is fucking huge. A lot of running backs probably would have gotten there, but it's the fact that he could kind of layer on, okay, I see the first guy, I see the leverage going that way, let me cut back. I see the second guy, I see the leverage going that way, let me cut back again. And now he sees this guy. He avoids the hand there, gets kind of shifty there, and then he's already like, all right, I need to create momentum going this way. Let me hit him with that stiffy. Get off me. And he's using that momentum to skirt to the outside and beat this second guy. So again, he's kind of this run was like 3 or 4 layers deep as he executed it, which I thought was really good and just showed off the ability for him to get side to side. I think this is a couple plays later. Where again, it's, the whole O-line is moving this way, which automatically takes your momentum. Now, he sees a cutback lane here. He sees this defender getting leverage that way, and he's able to shift his momentum that way, which the defender kind of also mimics him, which is impressive. But then he's also able to shift right back the other way. Stiff arm and cut back. Next play. Now, what I like about him too is he is able to use both his strength and his his shiftiness kind of at an even balance. Where like he could use his shiftiness on any given play, it's in his bag, but then he could pull out a play like this where, this hole is absolutely clogged up, right? He's not just going to go straight into there, but he sees a hole generating there. He cuts it over there. Now the defenders all fucking grabbed leverage. Only one thing to do is go fucking beast mode on him, which he does. He said, get off me. Hank, 2 stiff arms. Boom. I also think he's a sneaky good route runner. Like, he's not a liability in the passing game whatsoever. So if you watch him back here, he's going to fake staying in the block. The linebacker comes up to cover him. He fakes as if he's going outside, shake and bake inside. Great separation. Skirt. That was kind of nice. A little sexy. So right now I have Braelon Allen ranked as my 205, okay? Which is my 17th overall player, which is 6 spots higher than ECR. The other cool thing about Braelon Allen is when he steps on the field next year, he will quite literally be the youngest player in the NFL, which is pretty cool. The next 2 guys I have up are on the same team, in the same wide receiver core, Washington wide receivers. Neither of them are Rome. I'm talking about Jalen Polk. I'm talking about Jalen Mcmillan. I like both of these dudes. Michael Penix and Rome are getting all the hype. I think a lot of the reason Michael Penix looks so good is because they're secondary and tertiary. You didn't think I had the word tertiary in my bag? I have it in my bag, just like these dudes have a lot in their bag, all right? Jalen Polk, Jalen Mcmillan, spelled completely different. You can't have the same name spelled more different than these two do. You got Jalen Polk, Jalynn, capital L, and then you got Jalen, Jalen. All right? The Washington wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3. Now, here's what I'll say, okay? First off, Jalen Polk, I have him at my 206, which is 9 spots higher than ECR. I have Jalen Mcmillan at my 301, which is somehow 14 spots higher than ECR. Now, we did a mock draft on the channel a couple weeks ago. We did 2 or 3 rounds? Whatever it was, we left Jalen Mcmillan out. And then we got a lot of comments chirping, like, you got to watch Mcmillan. You got to watch Mcmillan. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Whatever. I watched. He's good. He's a good player. I'm glad that you guys yelled at me. I'm glad that I went and watched him. I will say, one of the overwhelming responses that we got on that video, or I got just about people talking about Jalen Mcmillan, is like, he's the real wide receiver too. He's the real wide receiver too. It was all him behind Rome, blah, 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 blah. That gave off huge Jackson Smith and Jigba vibes, where I turned on the tape, and the first thing I noticed about Jalen Mcmillan is he is exclusively a slot guy. He saw almost zero press or man coverage. It was all cushioned. It was all zone coverage, which is fine because he's really good at getting open in those coverages. But last year when JSN came out and everyone was like, he was the real wide receiver 1 in Ohio State. He was better than Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. Like, you know how fucking dumb those people look now? I got the same vibe, though I think Jalen Mcmillan is a very good wide receiver, okay? Like, when you're the one that's in the slot and you have 2 really good NFL wide receiver prospects on the outside, taking the cornerback 1 and the cornerback 2 and seeing all the man and press coverage and seeing the safeties over the top, like, when you got Rome and Jalen Polk running routes outside, do you think a safety ever gives a fuck about the slot guy? No. Again, big JSN vibes here, where it's like, when this guy gets the easiest coverage in the fucking world, he's not the wide receiver 2 or the wide receiver 1. Everybody settle down. Now, Jalen Polk, 6'1", 203, ran a 4.52, which, to my delight, 64th percentile in terms of weight-adjusted speed score, really good burst score. I was a little bit surprised because I liked what I saw in film. I wasn't overwhelmed. Like, I didn't think he was some amazing route runner or savant. I think he's a really good role player, okay? I think he could be maybe a Rashee Rice. I think he could be a downfield playmaker. I think at the very best, I put him in the T. Higgins archetype, where, like, you're not going to watch T. Higgins be like, holy fuck, he's a refined route runner. Holy, like, the separation he creates at the line of scrimmage is incredible. No, he wins at other parts of the ball. He's good at running routes across the middle of the field. Very good catch radius. You throw the ball up, he's probably coming down with it type beat. That's what Jalen Polk is. I was concerned that he might be a little bit slower than the 4.52 that he ran at the combine. So that was a pleasant surprise to me. I was worried he was going to run 4.6s and above, which is usually fine, but I was, maybe he ran a 4.65 or a 4.68. Then I'm like, maybe he's a little bit more sluggish than I gave him credit for, in a bad way. But no, I felt good about him coming off with a 4.52 at 6'1", 203. So without a doubt, his strongest points in his game are his ball tracking ability on downfield throws. He is a real red zone threat. He has a crazy large catch radius, all right? So I kind of just want to run through some of the plays that I thought exemplified this super well. Like I said, great red zone threat. He's got really good size. You can just throw him a jump ball. He'll get up again. Very T. Higgins-esque right there. All right, so Jalen Polk, he's down here, bottom of the screen, one-on-one coverage. Let's watch it play out. Skirt. So he's able to get separation right away, getting outside. And when you've got a big catch radius, when you can get up and get the ball, like that's enough separation. Now, what I love here is him being able to win this little like hand fight battle right before the point. You can see the ball right here. That gets him enough separation to grab the ball, still understand where the out of bounds line is, and get in. I thought that was beautiful. All 22 is fucking useless. What are you doing here? Now, these are some of my favorite routes that he runs where, again, he's not the fastest dude, but if you let him kind of run across the middle like this, a little deep intermediate route across the middle, he gets separation. So he's up here at the top of the route. Breaks inside. He sees the zone coverage. Just throw him the ball. Boom, that catch radius. Like, look how far he ran. He started the route here, and he ends up catching the ball all the way over here. Nice sliding catch right on the sidelines. Like, that's kind of beautiful to me. Nice ball by Penix. Boom. Not an easy play to make. Next up, one of the first plays of the Sugar Bowl versus Texas. Whew. That double. That double. Oh, what a play. He says, fuck it, get off me. Can't get to the crib, but it's all right. He took a nap. Let's just watch that play again. So Polk lined up over here. And we do have some safety help over the top. He's got to watch a few guys, but quick-footed to gain inside leverage here over the top. He breaks in, hits him with the double move back out. And then again, that catch radius. He's got to extend the hands. He's got to make sure he's not by the sidelines. Boom. And then the wherewithal to see the second safety, or to see the safety. Cut back. Little skeet skirt. Hit the B button on the controller. And he gone. Let's show some film of the Spartans getting cooked here. So we got Polk, most outer man. Again, one of those routes you're going to see him kind of run that way. Boom. Up the seam. Let's just play it out in real time. Doof. Now, obviously, the coverage there, this is nothing to do with his separation skills. Like, there's just no one over the middle of the field here. So it was easy for him to get open, obviously. But let's just watch the catch. Again, the catch radius is what Jalen Polk's game is so beautiful. Boom. You ready? Get up. Oof. Look at that. He's so good at tracking the ball downfield. This is actually the very next play. Ridiculous catch. Boom. Or actually the next drive, I should say. They scored a touchdown there. The next play on the next drive. He's in the middle here. He's going to find the soft zone coverage. Boom. Just super strong hands. Like, he is just a hands catcher. Like, look where that ball was placed. Not an easy catch to make. But he makes it look easy. A few plays later, he's right here. Breaks outside, gets some separation. Michael Penix throws a beautiful fucking ball where only he can get it. And he knows Jalen Polk going to go up and get it. Skirt. Another one. Just unbelievably strong hands. Huge catch radius. Duh. These are skills that just not a lot of players have. So when it comes to Polk, again, I don't think he is. I don't know that he's fit to be a 1A in any offense. But again, I think he's got the ceiling of being a T. Higgins type, where he is a really strong 1B, and he could make those plays, and he can have a 10 touchdown catch season because he's heavily utilized in the red zone, and quarterbacks will trust to throw him the ball up. And he can make big plays. He can make those plays, 15, 20, 30 yards downfield where he's streaking across the middle, because you just put it in his vicinity, he's going to get up and get the ball. All right? So big fan of Jalen Polk for what he is. And then we've got his slot wide receiver. We've got Jalen Mcmillan. Again, a dude that he's 6'1", 197. So another receiver with really good size. He's 22 years old. Jalen Polk's 21 years old. Another dude who's just 21 coming into the league. Jalen Mcmillan tested really well at the combine, 4.4, 740, just above average or, really good athleticism kind of all around the board. Now, 2023 was extremely injury-riddled, but his junior season, or I guess his sophomore season, because he's redshirted as a freshman, almost 80 catches, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. But again, slot-only receiver, only saw cushion and zone coverage for pretty much the entire year. But don't let that take away from the fact he's very, very smooth in breaking routes. Very, very smooth route runner altogether. But I will say there's been times where, and it's actually kind of funny because on Player Profiler, his best comp is Jerry Jeudy. Now, everybody was like overly obsessed with how good Jerry Jeudy was as a route runner coming into the NFL, and now we know that he's just not that. He's not that good of a receiver, and I think a lot of that came off the fact that, like, when you don't see college receivers get a lot of press coverage, a lot of man coverage, and really have to refine their route running skills, sometimes that doesn't play. I'm not saying that's the case for Jalen McMillan, but if I look back and he struggles getting open at the NFL level, then I think there's a pretty obvious reason why, is that he just didn't see a lot of press or man coverage and didn't get to refine his route skills that way, okay? So with McMillan, I think if a team drafts him and uses him properly as a slot wide receiver, like I think Jerry Jeudy could excel as a slot-only receiver. Putting him on the outside and asking him to be a pristine route runner is going to end up with super fucking mid numbers throughout his entire career, as we've seen already, where he's just levitating between 700 and 900 yards and never taking the next step up there. So I think Jalen McMillan could be that, but probably a little bit better. And the last guy, probably my favorite wide receiver on this list, outside of Adonai, of course, Xavier Legette, South Carolina. I've got him in my 208, which is 6 spots higher than ECR. He is 6'2". He is 225 pounds. He is 6'1". He is 221 pounds. He ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. 90th percentile burst score, 98th percentile weight adjusted speed score. This guy is an absolute fucking freak. He's a little old. He's 23 years old. He is a fifth-year player. He was at South Carolina for 5 years. Didn't do shit until 2023, until his 5th year, which I get it. That is a gigantic production profile red flag. And a lot of people have been comparing him to Jonathan Mingo, which I think is not a good comp, okay? I think it's a good comp from a player build standpoint, but I actually think Legette's got far more ability on the field, far more quick twitch ability, far more like he actually puts his athleticism to use, where I feel like Mingo's kind of just all over the place, and he's going to be a dude that we want to develop for like fucking 10 years. One of the first things I noticed about Xavier Legette is, like, despite his size, you can see that DK Metcalf looking motherfucker down here. He is, let's just watch the play. Like, those are some fast fucking feet for a guy that big. Like, look how quick he stops on a dime. Boom. For someone that big, it should take a little longer to turn around. He's got quick feet. He puts his fucking cornerback on ice skates. He also has, like, unbelievable high point ball tracking ability. Let's actually look at, like, I think it's the first play of the game, maybe. Nope, not this one. Maybe the next play? Okay. One of his best attributes, kind of similar to Jalen Polk, is his just acrobatic catchability, great at high pointing the ball and just tracking the ball in the air. So you can see him lined up down here. He's not afraid to use his size here to win that, like, hand battle. As you can see, he kind of shoves the cornerback off to gain separation. Quick feet, cuts outside. Great fucking ball. Great catch, great awareness. Look how tough that fucking both throw and catch are. I'm gonna be honest, with a lot of the rookies in this class, I was watching the wide receivers and I'm like, damn, these wide receivers are so good. And I watched the quarterbacks, and I'm like, most of them are fucking trash. One guy I got higher on from watching Xavier Legette's tape is for sure Spencer Rattler. He is one of those mid-round quarterbacks that I think is going to be a great fucking super flex stash. But look at this ball, where this is thrown, how he goes up, gets it, concentration, crazy. All right, next play. He's lined up as a slot. He fakes inside, cuts outside. Our route could have been a little cleaner probably, but Doesn't matter. He's getting the ball right away, and you could see full fucking extension to catch that ball. You got to make those plays against Georgia if you want to have any hope. All right. This is very Jalen Polk-esque. He's lining up at the slot again. Just another fucking phenomenal job of high point tracking that ball, going up and getting it with his hands. That's really what he brings to the field, is that type of athleticism. He had a drop rate of 2.7%, which was one of the lowest in all of the NCAA. 12.7 yards per target, 17.7 yards per reception, 3.96 yards per route run versus man coverage. That is a phenomenally high number. You're talking about amongst the best in the class. His catch and traffic rate hovering right around 50%, which is exactly what you want to see. Legette's a dude who's a big-time fucking athlete, can with 1,000% make the plays that any team would love to have on the NFL field. Again, similar to Jalen Polk. I can't wait to see where Xavier Legette goes. He was a dude that I really liked on film and then came into the combine and fucking blew that place right away. Blew the doors off the combine in Indy there, okay? So we're talking about Adonai Mitchell, Braelon Allen, the Washington wide receivers, Jalen Mcmillan and Jalen Polk, and Xavier Legette. These are 5 dudes that I am far higher on than the market is right now, okay? So let me know some dudes that you're in love with. I think on the flip side of this, next Tuesday when my individual video goes out, I'm going to do the same thing, but dudes I am obnoxiously low on. Guys that I have way, way less appeal inside of me than the market does. And those ones I like to go in depth on the film for, because I feel like it's easier to point out the flaws in players than it is to just see, because everyone's got highlight tapes, right? I can take the player I like the least and show you bad things, or show you good things. Sorry, probably show you a lot of bad things as well. It's not always easy to find players everybody loves and point out the flaws. So I'm going to do that for next week. Let me know who some of your players are that you are obnoxiously high on and obnoxiously low on. All right? That's all I got for you today. I'll see y'all tomorrow.